Have you ever taken a vacation to take a second out of your busy life to take things slow? To enjoy the little things as life flies by? Well, this vacation ends up doing the complete opposite for some people. And with the simplest title ever, I can only imagine who made this movie. This is 2021's Old. The newest M. Night Shyamalan movie that adds its basic title to the ranks of Signs, The Village, Glass, Split, Devil, and The Happening. Seriously, his films have the most unimaginative titles, but they still work somehow. Spoiler alert, while I might be giving you my opinion on the film, that's no substitute for watching it yourself. Links to the film are in the description. As Prissa, Guy, Trent, and Maddox head to their tropical beach destination, they talk about all the things they plan to do when they get there, and they have a weird obsession with speeding up time to get to future plans in their lives. Prissa is occupied by handling work while on the vacation, but they suddenly pull up to the resort where the staff are waiting to greet them. Soon, the manager introduces them to Madrid, and she takes care of their every need as she shows the kids around. Eventually, they're taken to their room. Prissa smiles as she sees how happy her family is. Soon after, the four of them head down to the beach, and the happy family doesn't seem so happy anymore. Trent ends up running around with another boy that can't make friends, and Maddox looks on with the older kids. That night back at the hotel, Prissa and Guy are talking about how they wanted to have one more family vacation before telling the kids that they were going to separate. On top of that, Guy brings up that he wants to tell the kids about a medical condition that they found out about. Why do people want to have one last good memory before dropping terrible news? Yeah, let's enjoy ourselves and show that we can be a happy family for a week before we destroy your lives by saying that we can't stand being around each other? It was all a lie. Like, won't that scar them for life? Okay, now what am I watching? Feel like I just sat on the controller and changed the channel to a softcore porn. Then we cut right back to the hotel. Well, I'm a little confused, but let's just go with it for now. The hotel manager finds out what the kids want to do with their vacation day, and he tells them about a private beach that's secluded. He tells them that he only recommends it to specific guests, and he arranges for them and one other family to be taken to the nature preserve where the beach is located. Cameo alert! The hotel driver that drops the families off on the nature preserve is none other than M. Night Shyamalan. But even his character's smart enough to not go farther than the concrete markers. After the driver gives them all the food and supplies they need for a nice relaxing time, he sends them on their way before he heads back to the hotel. Once the family walks through the wall of rocks that surrounds the beach, they find themselves on a beautiful private shore. The other family, which consists of Charles, Agnes, Crystal, and Kara, sets up on one end of the beach, and they notice another man sitting against the rocks.
That's mid-sized sedan!
I swear, could rappers pick any weirder names nowadays? I know this is supposed to be a fictional name, but it really isn't that far off from what we get now. A new rapper pops up every day and it sounds like a new kitchen appliance or car. The families continue to have an amazing day at the beach, but Trent and Maddox venture into a cave while Kara takes a dip in the water. After some time, they all run for the food, but they find toys and supplies buried from the hotel. It all looks like it's been there for a while, but no one knows how it got there. They end up playing hide and seek, and Trent hides in the water where a dead body washes up behind him. After calling everyone over, mid-sized Sedan and the others come over to find the naked woman. Prissa takes the kids away, and the others all look at the body. Mid-sized Sedan explains that he'd been waiting for her to come back, but his nosebleed throws everyone off for some reason. Suddenly, Trent talks about how his bathing suit's hurting him, and Prissa notices that he's grown in a short amount of time. Suddenly, Jaren and Patricia arrive, and they're not able to enjoy the beach like the others did before they found out about the dead body. Just in case none of you have ever watched an M. Night Shyamalan movie before, there's always a good amount of choppy, random setup, then the twist of what's really going on is revealed. Finally, the last twist happens just when you thought everything was done happening. Pretty much from here on out, it's going to be twist after twist. And hopefully we don't lose the storyline along the way. Suddenly, Crystal comes over to tell Charles that Agnes is asking to see him, and he heads that way. Jaren decides that he's going to go back to the clearing to try and get a signal. But when he walks into the rock wall, he gets a throbbing feeling, and he ends up coming to on the beach. Everyone says that he stumbled out and fell over on the shore, but he can't remember anything. Suddenly, the children all seem to be different, and they all continue to eat non-stop. Charles goes to check on the kids, but the second he takes a step away from Agnes, she ends up just not breathing anymore. On the other side of the beach, Trent and Maddox are talking to Jaren, but when Prissa comes over, she asks where the children are.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because a second ago you were listening to boy bands and now you look like you could marry one. She literally shot through puberty within minutes. Trent, on the other hand, looks like he's in one of the transformations for the Curious Case of Benjamin Button Trent edition. Sorry, but how did their clothes grow with them? Maddox grew cup sizes in a flat bathing suit, and Trent shot up, and his suit doesn't look like short shorts. Now that's the technology we need. Meanwhile, mid-sized sedan tries to run into the rock wall, and Charles follows. Within a few feet, they pass out and wake up on the beach again. The entire group tries to brainstorm ways of finding a way out, and they break off into groups to try and keep from passing out. Sure enough, they all end up waking up on the beach again. When Prissa and Guy go to have Charles look at the kids, Charles just goes up to Sedan and cuts him on his cheek. Within seconds, the cut's completely healed. After Sedan explains that he and the naked girl were there because they were sick, Patricia pieces together that this might be a group psychosis situation. Next, the dog just drops dead. Just like that. To top it off, Sedan and super-grown Maddox take a walk on the beach. There's no way that I would let my super-developed, now adult daughter walk around the beach with the rapper she idolizes. There's no way. And don't take a breath because the movie doesn't give you a break. Prissa's tumor starts growing at an alarming rate, and she eventually passes out. They decide that the only way to try and save her at this point is to cut out the tumor right there. Oh, what the hell was that thing? I don't think I've ever seen a tumor that big in someone that's alive. So is this beach a miracle or a curse? This is another one of those twists where you wonder if everything is really bad here, but leave it to Sedan to remind everyone that this crap is messed up. Sedan uncovers the body of the naked girl and all that's left is bones. They now realize that they're going through years of time in the blink of an eye. Leave it to fast hormones to make things interesting because you've got Sedan starting to come onto Maddox, and Trent is cooped up in a tent with Kara. Trent's not going to die a virgin. The two of them immediately hopped on this train. Also, I'm no critic, but the acting in this movie is definitely as abrupt and choppy as the twists and developments in the story are. I'm rather confused on whether this is just how they were written. Okay, so I usually try to get a good amount of summary in these videos, but this movie's making it very hard to do that without reacting to something new every 30 seconds. I knew they were getting it on, but this definitely didn't cross my mind. No one else's either, apparently. While everyone seems to fall into their own delusions, Kara only has 20 seconds from the time of conception to giving birth. Sure enough, she goes into labor. By the time the group walks over to Kara, the baby ends up dying from lack of attention when they put it in a towel for 1 second. Things are moving too quickly for a baby to survive on the shore. Suddenly, Charles starts to show how he's suffering from some sort of memory degradation condition, and the group falls apart even more. Suddenly, Patricia screams as Charles stabs mid-sized Sedan to death. When Guy and Jaren go to take the knife from Charles, they find that he's even further down the rabbit hole that's his mind, and Jaren decides to try and swim down the coast to a new beach. Afterwards, Trent volunteers to try and climb above the rock wall. Before that, Guy pieces together that everyone there has something that is sick from something, and the hotel can literally make them disappear like they were never there. They try to stop and take a little longer to develop the most random characters before throwing in another twist or wrench in the plot. For the first time in who knows how long, we slow down to see how Maddox feels about Prissa cheating and wanting a divorce. Honestly, I forgot all about Prissa's drama, and no one gives a crap anymore. They'll be dead in 20 minutes, who cares? Maybe they should all just get it on one last time before they dissolve into dust. What if this isn't a beach at all? What if that is just the dust of previous guests that collected to make a shore? Ew. Maddox decides that she needs a second to gather her emotions. But when she walks into the water, she's hit by Jaren's dead body. She rushes back to shore, and Jaren's body is pulled onto the beach. Jump over to Trent and Kara, who bury the dust that is their dead baby. And Kara decides that she's going to climb the wall. She actually makes good progress, but then she passes out and falls to her death. When they get back to the beach, they find Priscilla's tied pool noodles together to make a weird raft, but she falls over in an epileptic seizure and dies. I'm telling you, this movie does not give you time to catch your breath. They do not let you catch your breath before pushing you back underwater. Within 10 seconds of Priscilla dying, Charles starts to go blind. 20 seconds after that, Crystal's an old widow that searches for Kara. Geez, you don't get a break here. Oh, also, Prissa's deaf in one ear now. How's that for crap luck? When night comes, Charles sits blindly, and he talks into Prissa's good ear to tell her that he knows about the other guy. She apologizes, but there's no coming back from it now. Trent and Maddox find a notebook in one of the baskets from the hotel, and they find writings in it that try to piece together what's wrong with the beach. Maddox finds a passage that explains how the magnetism of the beach is what's causing the anomaly. Trent also spots a camera on the ridge that's recording everything going on the beach. When darkness falls, Charles attacks Guy, and his memory is almost completely turned around now. He slashes away at Guy, but the effects of the beach heal him immediately. Prissa runs to Maddox and Trent to warn them to hide, and they take shelter in the rock wall. Once there, they hear the crying of a woman farther in, and they see that Crystal's walking around with a deformity. That's oddly disturbing to see. To top it off, the super fast healing on the beach causes her broken arm to heal back in the wrong position. Eventually, all of her bones are going to do that. Meanwhile, Prissa returns to fight off Charles, and she actually cuts him with a rusty knife. So he gets poisoned and the infection overtakes his body within a minute. Okay, second most disturbing part. If anything, this movie's a moving poster for getting your tetanus shot. Now, the only ones that are left are Prissa, Guy, Trent, and Maddox. Trent and Maddox take care of their geriatric parents, and within 10 minutes, Prissa and Guy die from old age. By morning, only Trent and Maddox remain, and they're middle-aged adults at this point. Maddox points out that they only have about 13 hours left if everything goes right, and they decide to take a break from trying to get out. Trent even goes to decode a message his little hotel friend left him yesterday. He finds out that his little friend knew the secret to the beach all along. Something in the coral. After finding this out, both of them swim out to the coral reef that sits out in the bay. They find a cave that's completely filled with coral, and they swim inside. Maddox gets caught on the coral and Trent goes back to help her. So now we find out that the man behind the camera, literally and figuratively, was M. Night's driver character all along. He thinks that the brother and sister have drowned in the coral, and he heads back to base, which is an experimental lab for a pharmaceutical company. Go figure that Big Pharma's behind all of this. Imagine it though. How many of these big corporations could literally buy an island and conduct human experiments without getting caught? It's creepy. The hotel manager gives a speech in front of everyone, and he explains that their works help millions of people in the world. He even says that the medicine they gave Patricia helped put off her epilepsy for what was the equivalent of 16 years. And they're going to fast-track that medicine now. Madrid mentions that there are new subjects getting dropped off at the hotel soon, and they head back to get ready. Little do they know that Trent has made his way back to the hotel, and he gives the notebook to the police officer that's there. Maddox has also arrived, and they make their presence known in front of the hotel when the new guests arrive. Finally, we see how they escape the coral, and we see that everyone that was involved at the hotel was arrested. Trent and Maddox are flown back home, where they live with their aunt, and the credits roll. Okay, I'll say it again. This movie did not give you a break. I love it for that. It didn't give you a chance to be bored at all. While M. Night might have much twistier storylines out there, this is a nice addition to his repertoire, and I'd say give it a shot if you're a fan. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.